You just landed your first stable job in Canada. Or maybe you're fresh off the plane, hoping to build a new life. You get your first paycheck and then it hits you, rent, groceries, maybe sending support back home. Saving seems completely impossible. But there are two secret weapons that many Canadians swear by to grow their money smart: the TFSA and the RRSP. One gives you freedom for now. The other builds your future. Which one suits you best in 2026? Let's find out fast. In the next few minutes, we'll break down exactly how TFSA and RRSP work in plain English. We'll look at the 2026 limits and why the limits could shift things. We'll talk about what young Canadians and newcomers often need right now versus long-term savings. I'll share some real-life mini stories about a first apartment, a first home, and a first retirement fund. And at the end, I'll give you a quick decision cheat sheet so you can decide today before you spend that paycheck. Let's start with the real breakdown: TFSA versus RRSP. The tax-free savings account, or TFSA, is your go-to if you want freedom and flexibility. You deposit money you've already paid tax on, so you don't get a tax deduction right now. But inside that account, everything grows completely tax-free. Any interest, dividends, or investment gains are all yours to keep. Later, when you need that money for rent, a car, or maybe a down payment on a home, you can withdraw it, and poof, no tax, no penalty. That flexibility is gold when you're just starting out and life is unpredictable. On the other hand, we have the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, or RRSP. This one is for when you're playing the long game. When you contribute to an RRSP, you get to slash your taxable income for that year. This means you pay less tax today and might even get a sweet tax refund. Inside the RRSP, your investments grow tax-deferred. But remember, when you eventually take that money out, ideally in retirement, that amount gets taxed as income. So the RRSP is less about flexibility and more about locking in long-term growth and saving on taxes now. Now let's talk about the contribution limits, what's new and why it really matters for your strategy. For 2026, the TFSA contribution limit is set at $7,000. A key thing to remember is that any unused contribution room from previous years carries forward. So if you've been in Canada for a while but never opened a TFSA, you could have a significant amount of room built up, which is a huge head start. However, for newcomers, it's a bit different. Your TFSA room doesn't go back in time. Your contribution room starts building from January 1st of the year you become a resident of Canada for tax purposes. So, if you arrived in 2024, your TFSA room starts accumulating from 2024 onward, not before. For the RRSP, the limit for 2026 is 18% of your earned income from 2025, up to a maximum of $33,810. It's a bit more complex, but the main idea is the more you earn, the more you can contribute to reduce your taxes. So why does all this matter if you're young, early in your career, or new to Canada? For many young or newcomer Canadians, the first few years are about building a life from scratch. You're juggling rent, unexpected bills, and maybe sending money back home to support family. In this phase, saving can feel like a luxury. This is where flexibility matters more than anything else. A TFSA gives you that breathing room. It acts like a powerful savings jar that grows tax-free, but you can access it anytime without penalty. It gives you peace of mind, knowing you have a cushion for today's needs. But what if you see your future here? You plan to stay for decades, settle down, maybe start a family. That's when long-term thinking comes into play. You start thinking about retirement security and having a stable income 20 or 30 years down the road. This is where the RRSP starts to shine. By contributing to an RRSP, you're not just saving for the future. You're also lowering your taxes today, which can free up more cash to invest or manage your current expenses. Here's your quick decision cheat sheet. Just ask yourself these questions. Do you have short-term goals or an uncertain income? If yes, the TFSA is probably your best bet. Do you need flexibility for emergencies, rent, travel, or a future home deposit? Again, the TFSA is perfect for this. Are you earning a good income now and want to reduce your taxes this year? That's a clear win for the RRSP. Are you thinking long-term about retirement and building a stable future in Canada? The RRSP is designed for exactly that. But here is the best part. What if you want both flexibility for today and security for tomorrow? You can absolutely use both. There's no need to choose just one. You can split your savings between them to get the best of both worlds. As a newcomer, there are a few extra tips you should know. First, always keep track of your contribution room for both accounts. Unused room carries forward, so you don't lose it. Second, if you leave Canada or your residency status changes, the rules can shift, so it's a good idea to check with a tax advisor. Third, if you expect your career and income to grow quickly, consider splitting your savings, short-term needs in a TFSA, and long-term goals in an RRSP. And most importantly, don't let the tax jargon stop you from getting started. Even small, regular contributions add up incredibly fast. It's all about building good financial habits from day one. Let's make this more concrete with a couple of real-life stories. First, meet Jasmine. She moved to Canada 2 years ago. She was working part-time, juggling rent, groceries, and sending a little money back home. But she was determined to save, so she opened a TFSA. Every time she had even $100 left from her paycheck, she tossed it in. 2 years later, she had built up enough of a cushion to move to a better apartment, buy a new laptop for her studies, and even book a short trip home, all without worrying about taxes or penalties. That's the power of TFSA flexibility. Then there's Ryan. He's a 28-year-old working a 9-to-5 job, making about $85,000 a year. He contributed $6,000 to his RRSP by the end of the tax season. Because of that contribution, he got a solid tax refund. He didn't use it to party or splurge. Instead, he reinvested that refund right back into his portfolio. Now, that amount is growing, tax-deferred, and will become a key part of his retirement nest egg. For him, the RRSP was the right move. So here's the reality. There's no single right answer that fits everyone. But that's a good thing, because it means you get to design your own financial path. If you're just starting out, your income is modest or unpredictable, it's wise to begin with a TFSA. Once your career gets more stable and your income grows, start thinking about tomorrow and add an RRSP to the mix. And if you can swing it, using both is even better. You're building your life, your security, and your future here in Canada. Your first paycheck isn't just numbers on a screen. It can be the start of something much, much bigger. Your life, your savings, your Canada. What's been your experience with saving in Canada so far? TFSA or RSP, or even other tools you've tried? Feel free to share in the comments. It's always great to learn from each other. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on building your financial life in Canada.